Project 2. Now changing out the axle, driver side axle on this 2017 Chevy Sonic 1.4 liter. Yep. Anyways, step one, we're gonna be taking off this wheel. Before I jack the car up, I'm just gonna loosen up these bolts. It's a 19 millimeter. Take a look at these darn bolts. We'll take one off to show. But you always gotta be careful with these darn lugs, rather. So these guys are actually covered with this little chrome plating. The actual bolt is underneath that, and this puts another millimeter of length on it, so that it's a 19. Now the actual bolt you see here, I had to cut one out previously. The actual bolt is an 18, right? That goes right up on there. Not really. It's actually kind of smaller, but so when you put these guys on here, you gotta be careful you take them all. Make sure you get it very flush. Make sure you get this entirely on the socket, entirely in there. Oh, already got it on. There you go. 18. There you go. But for this is these are 19. Make sure when you take these off loose and tighten them, make sure this is fully in the socket. Otherwise, if it's slightly canted or cocked like that, you're gonna ruin these things. And not only they're a little bit expensive, but they're a nightmare to get off. Um, in a special socket I use. I'll make a separate series on that. Now, this one I'm gonna be going a little fast with because I don't got much daylight, so I'll be ripping through this a bit. But now, next step, got the car jacked up, and now it's time to take off the wheel. So bear with me here. Gonna be going a little fast here. Here's the axle nut. What I generally do, I made myself a tool a while back. Uh, what this guy does, I kind of shimmed it out, and it fits just perfectly right in here that I can then take my hammer and bang it out. So I'm gonna use my tool here and I'll be right back. It's pushed out enough. I think I'll be able to squeeze it. So I'm gonna see if I can turn this off and see what happens. So real quick, here's my socket set. I end up buying one from either one of the Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone. Can't remember which one I got it from. But anyway, this guy is a oh, stand by. Hold on. It's 34. You know what? I recall I had a special socket for this. Oh, yes, the special socket one. Hold on, guys. I got a special socket for this guy. What I used before is a 36. It's square. I forget what this is called, but anyway, this is what I used before to get these things out. I don't like how it's got a little bit of play, but let's see what happens. Alright, I spun it off. Literally took 30 seconds. Now, again, this guy right here, this is a shallow wall socket. The problem I have is if I grab a 36, a normal 36, you see how thick this wall is. It will not go up in here on these Chevy Sonics. You got to get a shallow wall socket, 36. I got this Craftsman. Here's the part number right there. But this is what I found that works. Oh, all right. So next, I'm taking off the whole caliper. I don't take out these bolts. I just take off the whole caliper. So first thing I do is I'll grab my C clamp, push this brake back a little bit so it gives a little give, and then I'll back these bolts out. I did that, so I'll put C clamp on here, just pull it back a little bit, push the brake back a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and I'll start now taking these bolts out. Those bolts out, and I will do this. I'll hang this guy up here on the strut. Let's see, hang him up there, and I'll zip tie it up there so it doesn't move. I got this zip tied up there. Now I'm gonna get this little star bolt out. Now these things are mean. Uh, and I don't know how to think about it. I don't even I need to take it. I'm debating whether I need to even take that off. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can not take that out and just bang this axle out. Let's see. Ooh, got these loose, and now what I do is I put them back on just to the edge right here, just to the surface, and I bang them out like this. I back them out some more and bang it out. See that? There you go. And that guy comes right out just like that. Do the same for the bottom. Careful, because sometimes these things be under tension. So caution here, significant caution. What I generally do is I'll grab, there you go, break them loose just like that. All right. And I just bang this axle out. I'll take my little my extension here, my half drive extension. I'll turn it this way, or either way, and tap this axle out like that. And she comes right out. Oop, shoot, better break my sensor. There you go, just like that. There you go, she comes right out. Now I'm gonna go into the car, make sure it's secure. I'm gonna go in the car and I'm gonna pull out the axle from the transmission. Added a jack stand here, be double redundant here, and I'm gonna go in the car and start taking the axle out. Quick, when I take these axles out, I usually put like a flathead, get in an angle like this, and bang it out. Sometimes if I'm feeling ballsy, I'll put it lodge it against transmissions and put something here so I don't hit the middle of the transmission, and then just push it out. Either way, this one just took. If you see this little mark right there, I took my little. It took about a couple minutes, couple seconds. I'll take my little crooked flathead here. I'll put it right on here, and I'll just bang it out like that. I don't have much clearance underneath the car, so you can't really see, but you can see right there. So now, before I take it out, I want to have the other one ready. I don't want too much transmission fluid drip out, if any drip out. Oh, they gave me the wrong axle. So, that's it for today. I was wondering why I wasn't fitting. And turns out, the spindle, this guy's just shy. The one they gave me is just shorter, so it wasn't locking in there. I was sitting there trying to slam it in there, hoping I checked the seals and all that. Didn't do much damage. Didn't do any damage, rather. But geez, man, I'm telling you. Well, let's see another day. Y'all got the new axle in. Had to go to the store. Hey, you can see it here. So it's in there. You see it up against the seal. I'm just wiping off all the excess coolant so I can make sure if any additional fluids leaking out from the seal, which I should have replaced, but I didn't. If any fluids leaking out from the seal, then I'll be able to tell. What I typically do is I done took the bolt off. I typically lube this guy up with grease. This is just regular bearing grease, multi-purpose grease. Whenever I got metal to metal, I generally will add grease. And you can see in there, I'll grease all this up. Again, wherever I got metal to metal, I'll typically add grease. Um, there's different types of grease. Yeah, grease that will eat rubber up. There's grease that won't eat rubber, safe for rubber. There's all different types of grease. But anyway, this is There's no rubber here except for the boot, but I'm not worried about that. This grease here is, again, this is like bearing grease. This is metal to metal. Now here you can kind of see this is the wheel bearing. These are not hub assemblies. These are actual bearings. So I mean, me lubing this is not going to help the bearing at all, but this is going to help this metal to metal contact. Because I'm gonna simply just take this guy and push him in there and try to get it pretty flush. And I might gotta turn the wheel here, but you can kind of see if I gotta rotate this. There we go. You see that going in there, and what I'll be doing is I'll be turning this strut back because like that. You start lining this thing up. Hit the camera. So I did turn this guy straight. Again, I just used my strength. Wasn't too hard. Just turned the strut back straight. Now I'm gonna go in the car, straighten the wheel out so this is properly aligned. Got this all lined up. I'm gonna go and simply. Sometimes I'll get a. Sometimes I'll get the. Hey, oof, hold on 1 second. There we go. Sometimes I'll get one in at a time, like that. There we go. One in at a time. I'll get the top in first. And I just simply align this whole. There we go. Pull it out some. There we go. All right, and I'll get the bottom in next. I simply just pull this guy out a little bit, get it lined up like that, and boom, there you go. They're all in. And then I'll take a hammer and bang this guy in. First thing I'll check is make sure these lines are all not tangled, which this one I recall, this one went around there. So I think we're good to go. Generally, another quick tip with these lines, generally because they've been like this for the whole duration of the car's lifespan, typically if you just let them sit in their rest position, you can kind of get an idea of where the line belongs. You know, like me moving it like this, look, goes back to its rest state. So you can kind of get an idea that it probably went somewhere like that. You know what I mean? If you ever get in a bind and trying to figure out where things belong. I just hammer these guys in with a mallet. I just use a mallet to be safe. Um, and what I typically do is again with I'll typically now this is not I wouldn't recommend this, but what I'll do is at times I'll put a little bit, a tiny bit of grease in there, just a tiny bit. Again, I'm not recommending that. But that's just what I do. Just a tiny bit, a little tiny bit around the thread there. Tiny bit, just to just I'm the type of guy too that I like my engine to maybe have a slight valve cover leak, just to drip oil around the whole engine. So things are easy. Nothing really rusted up. But anyway, that's just me. That's only my own pet peeve. Folks will argue that's incorrect and whatever else. Again, this is just me. So that's all. To get these bolts back in, I got my heavy hammer here, and I just had to bang these guys little bit, just a tad bit harder than the rubber mallet. I do want to note, I did check though, to make sure that these lines was aligned. So what I typically do, and I should have shown this, what I'll typically do is I'll take a flathead back here and I'll move him back and forth and make sure that this guy is moving. To make sure that if this guy and this guy is moving at the same time, then I know that the little grooves in here is in fact in contact with this and this isn't in the way. Generally this diameter is larger than this one, but again that's just the way I check is I just put a little tool back there and I just move it back and forth and make sure I see this guy moving back and forth to make sure that he's not caught at the little first the what do you call it? The oh boy, I forget the darn type of fitting this is. The contact fitting, but it's the proper name for it, is that it's not interfering with this. As I was tightening it up, I just remember what that's called. This little type of interference fitting right here. I don't know if it's the proper name either, but long story short, this guy has it's a tight diameter so that when you go to put this together, it just doesn't spin because it's lodged into this guy right here. So you'll need to put a second wrench on this side because it won't move. So see how I'm tightening it now. You don't see it move. So what I'll be doing is I'll be putting this. I gotta cut this tie off, and I'll be putting the caliper back on. But guys, just put this caliper bolts back in, back here, tighten them up pretty tight. And I put the lines back where they were. And now I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tighten up this. Axle nut here. Axle looks like it's in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this. I'm not even gonna put the wheel on actually. I'm gonna jack it, roll it down. Well, I'm gonna put the wheel on. I'll show you in a moment, but I lost a lot of fluid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the fluid. I caught it just about a decent chunk, and I'm gonna top it off um, with the proper ATF fluid. I got a few. I got like a gallon in the house I can use with this. All right. So this is the fluid that came out. Now this fluid, this is not the color transmission fluid should be. Um, should be red. Um, this is black because it's been going through bad chemical reactions where it's probably done what they call it, I guess oxidized, or I don't want to misspeak here, but long story short, it's changed chemically now and it's black. And it doesn't when it's black like this, it doesn't hold the same integrity that normal red ATF transmission fluid. So the reason I'm putting this back in is because I've already took out a few quarts out this car and replaced with fresh fluid. I don't. This is more than a quart, and I don't want to shock it. So I'm gonna try to recycle a lot of this, um, and just add top off as needed. But I'm not. It's some some little bit of stuff in here, like little hairs and stuff that I'll not use. I'll simply try not to get that in there. All right, y'all. So just took it out on its maiden voyage, and well, not maiden voyage, but you know what I mean. And everything seemed to be good. I checked the, I checked to make sure that I turned the wheel both sides, and everything was working out fine. So tomorrow, what I'll do is late now, but tomorrow, what I'll do is check the automatic transmission fluid, get it warm. Shoot, I want to check it tonight, but I'll check it tomorrow and go from there. Probably only needs like probably a couple more, 1 or 2 ounces at the most, but we'll see. All right.